Let me think. Who is the most influential family of all time? Let me think. Is it the royal family? You know, those great greasy Brits out there, those supine what does he say? Squamous epithelial, Anyways, it wasn't them, all right, guys? It wasn't the royal family.
What's your name? One girl asked the Queen. She didn't reply.
What's your name?
The Queen seemed taken aback at this persistence, but Jake wasn't too sure who she was either, and Chloe was completely bewildered by the whole visit.
Is it Ryan's World, the family behind the amazing YouTube channel Ryan's World?
Wonder what's inside.
They have to be a pretty influential family because of their gigantic empire of cringe that they've built up. I wonder what would happen if Ryan and his family from the Ryan's World YouTube channel were to visit the White House. Play that clip from Independence Day. Is that possible? Can we do that? Is that illegal? Is that the White House or is that the Capitol building that they blow up in that movie? I forget. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. Play the clip.
Bruh.
Today's video is sponsored by Rocket Money. I recently discovered that I had been paying for the same subscription for this actually happened a long time ago until I got Rocket Money. I say that it happened recently, but it didn't. It didn't. Rocket Money has stopped that from happening. But that does not change the fact that if I would have known about Rocket Money earlier, I would have saved a lot more money. I'm leaking. There's just money going in all these various places and I have no control over it. That's where Rocket Money comes in. It's been a lifesaver for me. It's an all-in-one finance platform that is incredibly helpful in helping me save more money by spending less. You can easily cancel subscriptions. They can negotiate bills down on your behalf, which is crazy. There's also budgeting features for those who are budgetally impaired. It's eye-opening. It's a cool app. It's a very helpful app. It's an eye-opening app. I love it. On top of that, it monitors your credit score. Very important for me. I'm always using my credit and leveraging debt and all that kind of stuff. I'm stupid. It's like having a financial advisor in my pocket that helps me be smarter. It's a sponsor of today's video. Go to rocketmoney.com/oompa or click the link in the description. You can get started for free and unlock even more features with the premium subscription. Seriously, all this stuff helps the channel. If you guys want hard-hitting, edgy covering of the news and other events, this is what makes it possible, all right? This is what keeps us unbiased. It's not the royal family. It's not Ryan and his gigantic family. It's the Kardashians.
You know, you keep popping these kids out like Tic Tacs. I mean, we're gonna have a whole family to raise. Thanks for opening up, babe.
And I have proof to back it up because it's awesome and they have a gigantic church and they've got a few skeletons in the closet and this is a fucking insane, crazy ass story, and I feel like the Kardashians are gonna have shooters at my doorstep as soon as this video goes live. So anyways, I already was talking trash on OJ Shrimpson. It all ties in, it all comes full circle. All right, guys. It's black and white. For real though, this family has been everywhere for a long time. Basically, since I've been around and paying attention to shit, I've seen the Kardashians. I saw Kim K get cored like an apple by Ray J.
How much have you made off the tape then?
I don't even know. It's still it's still making money now to this day. It is, but
it's been lucrative for both of y'all.
We even saw the greatest commercial of all time. PewDiePie made a video. Remember that when he made a video? That was a different time on YouTube for sure.
Everyone is happy now. They solved everything. All you had to do was give him a Pepsi.
Kanye was even part of the old Kardashian cult for a good while, and I think that's probably what finally broke the man.
I've never used our pool, actually.
What?
Yeah, can you believe that? But I love our pool. You know, we don't have a jacuzzi.
Can you believe that? Can you believe we don't have a jacuzzi?
People were mad at me the other day for saying Northwest was Kanye's son, and she babysat Northwest, Kanye West's son.
All right, Northy, what do you want to do? You want to make slime? You want to go see my room? You want to play with Bobo?
Dude, I don't fucking know, all right? I don't keep tabs on famous people's children, all right? And North, it does not, I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of name that is. Anyways, the Kardashians have been rotting the brains of all of us. Well, not actually all of us, for generations of years worth of relevancy in the popular culture zeitgeist. Okay? Zeitgeist. Put it up not blitzkrieg. This isn't World War II. It's like. They've been around for centuries in terms of pop culture stuff. I especially love the clip of Kim Kardashian ugly crying after losing a diamond earring.
Chris, he throws me in the water. I land on the side of my head, and I feel my earring is gone. My earring's gone! Guys, my diamond earring came off in the ocean. My diamond earring's gone. And there's people that are dying.
So how could this possibly be something that's even worth any of our time? Well, friends and family and viewers and precocious predators, I don't know. It goes pretty deep, and it's gonna be a little bit to explain it, but I'll try my absolute best. Have you ever seen Righteous Gemstones?
Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
Bible bonkers.
Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers. The Kardashians seem to be going the same route as the Gemstone family in the Righteous Gemstones. Any of you who understand that, high five in the comments.
Bible
Bunker babies.
Baby Billy Bible Bonkers.
Yeah. Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers. Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
And subscribe and press the like button. YouTube does this cool thing where it makes a little explosion now, or like a little rainbow. It's kind of weird. I don't like it very much. For those of you who are uncultured, the reference is they have their own church, all right? And they are exceptionally charismatic, just as Baby Billy.
By the time I pay my scientists, all the people in my lab, my developers, the lab rats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, Baby Billy? 'Cause I'm selfless, and I want to heal as many people as the dear Lord will let me.
And I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of surprising that they've got their own church. I knew Kanye West had a church or like a Sunday service thing where it's really confusing and it looks like a cult. It really looks cultish. They're all wearing the same shit. I'm for it, honestly. I think we take cults to another level. Everybody start making a cult. Each town has its own cult. They wouldn't let me in though. I'm not anti-Semitic.
I'm not gonna say what race, what people, doctor.
I don't know. I just assume that anything Kanye West is involved in, you have to be an anti-Semite. I'm not sure though.
It was a Jewish doctor.
We'll be discussing this church today and some of these not so well kept secrets involving it and the dark nature of the various bits of information that are contained within the walls of this side quest. This is a fucking crazy ass side quest the Kardashians are going down, and it's a little bit complicated. The church is located in the beautiful Agoura Hills, California. It is so beautiful. Look at all this scenery. It's an area surrounded by state parks, reservations, beautiful overlooks. Topanga. Ever heard of Topanga? You've probably heard of Topanga. I've heard of fucking Topanga, okay? And that's like impressive that I heard of something. You got Red Rock Canyon Park, Upper Los Vergines thing, Cheeseboro and Palo Camado Canyon, I think. Also the Santa Monica Mountains. Looks like a pretty cool area. Look how beautiful all this shit is. Oh God, this is a sick edit. I love how the actual natural earth is just brown and the areas where humans are is green because they like to waste water on irrigation. But then again, there are other choices for grass. You don't have to necessarily use fescue. You can use ryegrass. It doesn't go dormant in the winter like standard other turf grass. You know, I love California. I think California's beautiful, but like this awesome realty group edit is just not, it doesn't make it look beautiful at all. It looks like if Texas and fucking Afghanistan had a child. It doesn't look that good, to be honest. It's an expensive ass area, incredibly overpriced. A single family home will cost you $1.5 million and a plot of dirt will cost you $2. Amazing. So you know there's a lot of really nice rich people there and stuff. It is so fucking unreasonably expensive that Agoura Hills housing expenses are 219% higher than the national average. That is crazy. Utility prices, 11% higher. I thought utilities were like controlled. The prices were like controlled, you know? Who the fuck would live here? No offense to any scientists or other liberal arts people. Science is my favorite liberal art. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking around. I just say things that aren't true, okay? because it's funny to me. So the church presents itself as one of acceptance for people of all backgrounds, creeds, mottos, and levels of success, in spite of it being in Agoura Hills, okay? On the church's website, they say that there are no perfect people here, which is kind of an awesome, funny thing to sort of talk about, you know, because it's involved with the Kardashians. We all know that they're the picturesque American family, Armenian American family. The wordage that they use on the site, very accepting. It's cool, man. It makes me want to go join. You guys like a good mess? Me too. Look at all these cans of Dr. Pepper on the desk that I've had set up for 3 days, okay? I've been struggling. This is a church that the Kardashians are directly involved with, and all this awesome aerial drone footage and just scenic stuff would make you believe that this thing is huge. It's one of these fucking Taj Mahals they have built down here in Texas. There are the biggest churches in the entire world. Impenetrable castles of faith and fortune. Not this one. This looks like a fucking ramen shop, okay? Like just a regular small ass place in a strip mall. It's a really small church. I don't even know how you can fit people in this. This is like a yoga spot right next to the School of Rock. You got a store that sells running shoes on one side and a place where you can take music lessons from Jack Black. And then, of course, a place to worship the Holy Lord. Or evade taxes. I don't know, though.
Televangelist Jesse Duplantis says God himself told him it's time for an upgrade.
He said, I want you to believe me for a Falcon 7X. So I said, okay.
A Falcon 7 jet like this one to preach to more people around the world. And he's asking his followers for the $54 million.
Something's going on here for sure, though. That's a little tiny ass building for such a large, awesome church with so many large and in charge folk involved in it, guys. If I had a church, it'd be fucking bigger than that. So the church is a public business, so it has Google reviews, as every public place kind of has, and the local reception of the church is not that high. They have 89 reviews and a majority of them are 1-star reviews, and it's 2.8 out of 5. That's the current rating. Some of the top reviews are very suspicious and seem like they may not be real. Have been several times and enjoyed the people, music, and service. And ramen. My family has had nothing but an enriching experience here. Thank you, guy with a headshot. It's weird to me that the reviews that are showed by Google are the ones suggesting a positive experience when a majority of the reviews are incredibly negative. This type of shit always just makes it seem like it's bought and paid for and it's fake and not real, and it makes me just laugh hysterically. Belly laugh. Or whatever, you know. Frankie, you gonna bark at me, huh? You're not riled up today, huh? Good girl. Good girl. Stay. Sweet baby. Now to the negative reviews. The majority, the lion's share. There are a lot of commonalities between these negative reviews, and several of them mention money, price, fee, tithings. It's basically like a Netflix subscription for God and faith. Seems odd to me for all these to mention that, especially in a little shitty fucking strip mall church. Allegedly, and by allegedly I mean according to reviews, public reviews on Google, to join the church you have to pay a membership fee of $1,000 a month at least, according to like fucking Scientology.
What's going on?
Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
What?
Just leave me alone.
The church also reportedly requires 10% of your income to be paid as tithings. It's all right. It's all right. That one's worth getting riled up over. There's quite a few reviews talking about this, such as the following. It's a great church to be a part of. You pay $1,000 membership and you get tax breaks. Not much preaching going on here, but the membership is worth it. If I could give it a 0, I would. This is no church. Having to pay a monthly membership fee of $1,000 is not a church I would be a part of. Do not support. A place we have to pay to worship the Creator? Nice. You won't find God in a church. God is in you. Just speak. Come as yourself. Oh. I added that last part. He didn't type that shit. You have to pay $1,000 a month to be a member here and also give 10% of your job earnings as well. The pastor is no good. Don't go here. Stop making the Kardashians rich. Oh. The owner came down with a hammer of truth and knowledge and said, this is an actual response from the owner. I think this is Kim Kardashian. I'm not sure.
The rumor about California Community Church charging $1,000 for membership is untruthful. It pops up on the internet from time to time, but like all registered religious nonprofit, the church is entirely funded by voluntary donations.
Oh, in that case, guess the video's over. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding, guys. There's more to it. So we have successfully dispelled the notion that there is anything bizarre going on behind the scenes within this awesome California church, guys. Thank the Lord. But there is actually a positive review that digs a bit of a deeper hole, like a hole digger would dig. You know those people who dig holes?
This is day 15 of digging a hole. We hit 1 million followers. We'll fill it full of gasoline and light it on fire.
I see so many negative reviews here, and the majority of the negative reviews are from people who have never walked through the door. I, on the other hand, have. They are judging a church they've never stepped foot in based on rumors that they have heard. These aren't members who have actually been charged a membership fee. It's trolls spreading a negative rumor that actual members say is absolutely false, Heimer. I believe this is judgmental and hypocritical to say the least. And the Lord will strike you down! I'm giving some creative liberties. Frankie, stop. Seriously. You need to stop it. I don't know, like, the thing is not funny anymore. Yelling at you is not funny. They don't like it. They don't think it's funny. You love it. Seems like. But I don't.
Pete, are you all right?
Pete is silent. And another thing, I don't believe most of them have ever been a member of a church. Obviously, if they ever had, they would know that a 10% tithe on your earnings is standard at every church for members. A lot of churches even require you to show your tax return when you join so they know you're tithing your 10% and they can also depend on that money as future revenue for church and local activities. It would be abnormal for a church to not expect 10% tithe from a member. What the f***, bro? If I go to a f***ing church and it asks for my tax returns, I'm gonna say, you blue helmet fucking glowy feds. What is this shit? We got rid of this in the 1700s with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and separation of church and state. I'm just kidding. I just start getting extremely French though, extremely revolutionary. I don't know what's wrong with me. I start literally screaming and then building a guillotine. It's crazy. Tithing advocates encourage believers to continue giving at 10% even when in debt. No, dude, don't do that. That's fucking insane.
All you've got is $1,000. Listen, that's not enough money anyway to buy the house. You're trying to get in the apartment. You're trying to buy the house. That's not enough money anyway. You get to that phone and you put that seed in the ground and watch God work it out.
The argument is, sow your money in the ground and you will reap returns multiple times over.
Seems like this guy's been drinking that Flavor Aid. Okay, Jim Jones? He even refers to it as fucking revenue. It's a church. It's a church. What? I'm so ignorant to this. I never grew up thinking, oh yeah, churches are just businesses and alternate forms of government for people. What? You're supposed to go and worship and have a sense of community. Huh? Not just get taxed again for the fucking 15th time. Maybe I'm crazy to think that that's absolutely insane. So now the rabbit hole progresses even deeper to the church's lead pastor. Now, I have nothing against this guy. Everything we're going to talk about here is very sensitive, I will say. I'm just trying to understand exactly what's going on. When I see a bunch of incredibly rich people in California who have a church in a strip mall, and in some of the reviews it says that they are forced to pay a 10% tithing, and like it's a strip mall church, not that hard to upkeep a strip mall church, and it's like $1,000 a month thing. It's very bizarre. It makes me want to look at it. Okay, so we're going to continue to look at it. The lead pastor on the website is a fella named Brad. He's our pastor, Brad Johnson. He looks like a nice guy. I like his hairdo. It's chicken-esque. It reminds me of a chicken. Part of this man's bio states that he served at the fastest growing and largest congregations around. He's got a long track record of being a shepherd for the people, getting all these poor lost souls into a strip mall and teaching them the word of God at the behest of Kardashian. It also claims in his bio that he's literally been at rock bottom. And it's hard for me to read that and not like smile because I'm an evil, horrible person, and I just imagine that looks really bad, and it actually is very bad, and we'll get into it, and I feel bad for smiling. to be honest. I think the literally been at rock bottom plays into the church's theme that there are no perfect people. Like the lead guy at the old School of Rock adjacent strip mall church has been at rock bottom. It's an interesting dichotomy of characters and fucking plot lines and themes. And also, just to circle back a little bit about leading the greatest, fastest growing congregations of all time, why at the strip mall church? Money! That's not cool. That's like not even a Chili's church.
You see my purse?
Yeah.
That means I'm first.
Oh, congrats on being first at Chili's.
I don't appreciate your sarcasm.
What are you doing?
Brad is a man with some fucking demons, I gotta say. Like some real hardcore shit. And it raises the question of is this the man who is to be leading the congregation, especially the strip mall congregation? I don't honestly know. Some reporting on Mr. Brad Johnson that was done by Radar Online from just over a decade ago tells us a lot about his character and some of his actions, especially as they relate to being a pastor for a church. Wow. Radar Online also says quite literally that momager Kris Jenner handpicked this goofy bastard to run their new church. Kris Jenner, by the way, James Charles, they're becoming the exact same person, and I'm here for it. I saw Jesus on the hill the other day. Brad led another church with 4,000 members called the Cavalry Community Church just before admitting to cheating on his wife of 27 years back in 2007. Why do churches have CCC as their abbreviations all the time? Is that like a thing? Is that like some kind of dog whistle? I'm learning a lot about dog whistles lately. Apparently, I give a lot of them. Apparently, I give a lot of dog whistles, especially ableist dog whistles. Brad apparently admitted to this cheating scandal and apologized in a blog post, but it's a decade old, so, you know, I couldn't really find any such sources, but I'll do a reenactment. When I was a young man, I cheated on my wife repeatedly. The Holy Lord was working through me in mysterious ways. Ow! Ow! Now, I'm inclined to believe the accuracy of this reporting, judging by the fact that the article has been around for so long and just, you know, get sued for defamation or whatever. I don't want to say things that aren't true, by the way. That's not my goal. I want to report on things that are interesting that I see online. I don't want to defame anyone or say shit that's untrue. So, as far as I'm aware, this is legitimate, according to Radar Online. Is it convicted in a court case? No. You can't, it's just hearsay, obviously, at the end of the day, so important. Alleged. So this fella allegedly admitted to cheating on his wife in a very 2010s way of apologizing through a blog post. All this is nearly a decade old, so we don't really know. The reporting on events is so old, the sources are hard to find. We couldn't really find anything, so I assume Radar Online's article is still up, which means it's legit. But also 100% it's alleged. I don't know. And really not that big of a deal, to be honest. Like, you can cheat on your wife for 27 years if you want, just I won't go to your church. Following the scandal, as you can imagine, the flock of the Cavalry Community Church was upset because they felt they had been defrauded or misguided by a massive fucking hypocrite. His action created a tremendous amount of resentment and hurt. Parishioner Robert Macarelli said, "Leadership has a higher calling. It's a huge deal." That's true, dude. Yeah, you can't be I was gonna say a congressman and do shit like that. You can. This guy's better suited for that than to be a pastor or whatever. So, after admitting to all this shit and losing his job with the Cavalry Community Church, things would get much worse for this guy, and I'm inclined to believe it once again because the fucking article still exists. And in the bio of the Kardashian church, it says that this dude hit rock bottom, and by God, we ain't quite at rock bottom yet. 27 years, it's gotta get a lot worse. The article details that this man had 3 S-word attempts, which is horrible. The Radar Online article really goes into extreme detail here. I don't really want to talk about this part. It does get a lot worse. The guy obviously was dealing with a substantial amount of guilt if all this alleged nonsense is to be true. He didn't seem to like himself very much, and he tried very hard to get rid of himself. Being this pimpin' ass pastor for a flock of 4,000 it's got to be terrible to go from that to someone who just cheats on their wife and then has everything stolen from them. Rightfully so. I mean, so this all absolutely makes sense. He apparently freely admitted this as well, according to Radar Online. I can't really find him freely admitting it, though. Big ass scandal makes it hard to be a pastor that people are going to take seriously, especially when your flock is accusing you of defrauding them for being a big giant fat hypocrite. Brad would seemingly claim that he would never lead a congregation again. That is, until Jesus came down to him in the form of the Kardashians. I don't really know how the this happens, but we'll try to get through it a little bit. I'll try to explain how this happens. Now back to the Radar Online article that talks about all this stuff, the bad stuff that happened in 2007 and 8. In regard to Brad having a future in ministry, he said, "Oh no, can't see it, not qualified," like some kind of PTSD-ridden ghoul from Fallout with some fucking interesting dialogue option. No, can't see it, not qualified. Flame, death, seventh circle, hell for me. I am evil. Lay down. This was also corroborated later on in a Guardian article, which I am much more inclined to believe is legitimate compared to Radar Online. I don't know what the Radar Online is. And, you know, it's also just all alleged anyways. These are comedy entertainment videos, and I'm wearing a love sense in my thing. Allegedly. So how the fuck did this sumbitch go from being a disgraced pastor to saying that he's never going to work in ministry again to being the pastor of a church founded by the matriarch of the Kardashians and Jenners? How is this even possible? What exactly happened here? There are some conflicting reports. Apparently, Brad Johnson would find himself in the lowly Starbucks barista position, and that's not good. That's all following his fall from grace, like the movie Click, when you hit the fast forward and you just suddenly are donning a green apron. You know it cannot be good. God, I would rather be a pastor than a Starbucks barista.
How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid.
I'm just kidding, by the way. I mean, I absolutely would rather be a pastor than a Starbucks barista, but that's just because I'm lactose intolerant, and I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it. I was being facetious. So I think being a barista is pretty chill. This little Starbucks fact was reported by Radar Online and The Guardian simultaneously. Instead, he began working at a local Starbucks until the day Kris and Bruce Jenner tracked him down and convinced him to head their church. It was then called the Life Change Community Church. Brad even officiated the legendary wedding of Khloe and Lamar Odom. Oh my God!
I, Lamar. Give you this ring.
Give you this ring.
What a fucking legend. This is 2 years after all this scandal came out. That was in 2009. Another article reports something a bit conflicting and says that he was a salesman selling electric signs and not a Starbucks barista. The only mention of Starbucks in this article is him saying that he would work there if he had to, which, you know, I think we all would. Am I right, fellow people who love working? I would love to work at Starbucks. Seemed like the guy just wanted to be a pastor really badly again, and Kris Jenner, for some reason, really also wanted him to be a pastor for the Life Change Community Church, which eventually became what we know it today as the greatest strip mall church of all time. One little interesting thing, if you go to this article where he's sort of talking about peddling electric signs and working at Starbucks if he has to, they talk about the online faith community that he is now involved in, which is the Kardashian church. And they say donations are requested on the site with requests for monthly gifts for as much as $1,000 over the first year from people classified as ministry partners. Ministry partners. Interesting. Conspiracy shout out, rabbit hole conspiracy shout out. Yeah! So this great business endeavor was originally titled the Life Change Community Church, but was renamed to the California Community Church. For some reason, I don't know, maybe some negative connotation associated with the name. I don't really know, guys. Needless to say, for some reason we still have not figured out the Brad Johnson fellow that we've been explaining here is the perfect man to position at the head of the church. I guess it makes sense. Life change. You can turn your life around when you give up all for God. Yep, he had his world turned upside down. It sort of makes sense. If you show the congregation you can do it, then he can do it. I can do it. You can do it and stuff. Now, lead pastor Brad Johnson is just a small sprinkle on the shit cupcake that we're covering in today's video, guys. It's far from the meaty, juicy, hot, steamy center. Why do the Kardashians and Jenners need to have their own fucking church?
Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not.
And don't you ever say I did.
Why does anybody need to have their own church? It seems like people who are very public figures who have their own churches.
Do you know if you're an intellectual, you'll probably end up in hell for it?
Or, I'll say it.
So do you make any apologies for your grand piano?
I really don't, Oprah. We just feel like this is God's blessings.
Not that nice. I will first begin this section by asking you guys, hey, this might not be a big deal. Maybe these people are just religious people. Everyone has the right to practice whatever religion they want in the beautiful United States of America. There can't be any other reasons to start a church other than that, right? Well, maybe. What if there was hypothetically? Let's go hypothetical here. All right, me and you. Hypothetical. Keep with me. Keep with me. Let's say hypothetically that there were monetary, materialistic reasons to found a church and reasons beyond just the love of your faith. Let's hypothetically say that, and let's do a little bit of broad speculation here. I'm excited. So, we are not the only ones who have done some speculation here. There have been many publications pontificating the possibility that this church was made solely for the financial benefit of the Jenners and Kardashians. Now, I'm inclined to believe it's right in front of us, guys. It's black and white, clear as crystal. Hypothetically, of course, that this is hypothetically true. Suspicious fans think Kris Jenner founded a church for dishonest reasons. Kris Jenner founded a church with $1,000 a month membership, and theorists think it's a secret tax haven. I don't think that. Theorists think that. Other people think that, not me. I'm just doing the research, trying to figure out what's true. If I could call Kris Jenner for comment, I absolutely would. I'd call James Charles, but he doesn't like me anymore. Sidestep a little bit. If this church actually did require $1,000 a month ministry partner membership Netflix fee, as well as a 10% yearly income profit share fucking tithing in an area this affluent, the Bungo Hills or whatever the this place is called, it would surely be raking in the biggest of all buku bucks. I think, at least. I mean, that's fucking, there's so many rich people in California, it's crazy. Yeah, and they're not spending that much, obviously. So like, you're in a fucking strip mall. What's the rent there? $4,000 a month max? It can't be any more than that. Now, on top of that, according to the IRS, churches and religious organizations are mostly tax exempt, which is just not, I mean, it makes sense for like a small local church, but when churches become gigantic businesses and conglomerates, let's not do that, IRS. How about instead of making, well, make me pay taxes, I'll pay taxes. How about instead of making my parents pay taxes, who are just regular ass, not middle class people at all, who are self-employed, who essentially pay 50% of all the money that they make to the fucking IRS through some, you know, sales tax, property tax. It just boils down, right? Not because of their tax bracket. How about instead of making those things, these massive organizations that are making people at the top incredibly religious, how about instead of making those things tax exempt, you just make people who actually contribute to society on a meaningful level, not even tax exempt, but just more reasonably taxed? How about that, IRS? I know you're watching, by the way. Also, another little idea for the IRS, instead of expanding your organization to allow gun-carrying agents in all 50 states to essentially force us at gunpoint to pay our taxes, how about you just tell us how much money we owe each year, instead of having fucking TurboTax do it, or a CPA. Tell us how much money we owe, and then we'll tell you how much money we spent. I promise I'm honest. More honest than this church. Back to the Kardashian church. Seems like they didn't exactly realize that churches aren't entirely tax-free or tax exempt, and when you run payroll for a church, you still have to pay payroll taxes, because you're like, there's got to be some little, you know, thing preventing it from going fucking wildly out of control. They didn't realize this. The Kardashian church didn't realize this, and it resulted in them being hit with tax liens in 2012 for failure to pay payroll taxes. Interesting. So they were just like, yeah, we don't gotta pay any taxes. It's baller. This is fucking sick. Come on, Brad. Come on, man. Donations to churches are also tax deductible. If you give your money to a church or a nonprofit, that money is no longer accumulated in your tax bill at the end of the year. So maybe if the Kardashians or someone else who is rich were to donate money to the church or pay the 10% rev tithings, they might be able to reduce their taxable income by leaving that money in a nonprofit or paying out like a smaller percentage over time through payroll or whatever, or distributions. I'm not exactly sure how nonprofits work. Nonprofits are widely manipulated. I'll just say that. Hey man, at least the money's going to the church and not anybody like Kim Kardashian or Kris Jenner or whatever. At least it's being used for a good cause in a strip mall. We don't know 100% if it's a giant fucking massive religious scam like Scientology or any of this other nonsense.
Frozen alien bodies were loaded onto Xenu's galactic cruisers, which looked like DC-8s, except with rocket engines. The cruisers then took the frozen alien bodies to our planet, Earth.
But we do 100% know, beyond a reasonable doubt, allegedly, that the Jenners and Kardashians are taking advantage of this situation. In an interview with Piers Morgan, we find out a bit more. I can't find the footage for it, only reports of it. Piers asked Kim and Kourtney how much money they donate to their fucking mom's church, and they say 10%. 10% of our income is donated to mommy church. We go, it's awesome. It's so cool. Does your mom have a church that you can donate 10% of your income to? That's my Kim and Kourtney Kardashian impression. This is also from the interview where Piers asks the both of them what their actual talents are too, which is absolutely savage. Whatever it is, I give 10% away to the church. And that's what I was not. Every year, absolutely. But does Kourtney? I'm going to now. I was not that new, but I forgot about it. This was a good era of Piers Morgan with this like cool background here. This is when he had Alex Jones on and he's like, 1776 will commence again if you come for our gun.
Why is the government arming to the teeth against us?
Alex, I don't
What about Fast and Furious?
Alex,
why do our government ship guns
calm
into
down.
Mexico?
Alex.
To blame the Second Amendment?
Let's have a debate.
A false flag?
Alex.
To blame the Second Amendment?
I get accused.
Why'd they blow up Building 7
Alex,
down the street here
Alex.
in New York?
Red coat, you red coat, John Bull. Would you quit it? I'm not, I can't, that's what I do. I just scream, all right? Quit farting when you sneeze, by the way. God damn, it stinks.
I mean, I'm a judge on America's Got Talent, obviously. If you were to come on and I was to ask you, honestly, what is your talent? Would you have any?
I would absolutely say that marketing is a skill.
That's not a skill, though. That's a fucking trait from the devil himself.
And I think that, you know, fashion as well. I mean, we each sister have been stylists at some point in our lives.
Also completely meaningless. Just kidding. It's kind of cool sometimes, but...
We are smart enough to understand that having a TV show and a successful reality show is just a platform to where people can kind of, you know, get to know us on a personal level, see us. But for us, we've always been about the business.
And also our dad helped exonerate OJ. And then he died from what people call karma or something. I don't know what that is.
So we've always known that a fragrance and a shoe line and a clothing line at Sears and everything that we're doing now is always what we wanted to do.
Dude, I fucking cannot stand this. This literally makes me turn into a wild Appenheimer. I turn into a wild ape when I see people talking like this. They just, and they're billionaires. You're a billionaire from this? How? Marketing? Fashion? That's not how. You can't do that. You can't just say marketing and fashion. There's something going on here. Some force, some power it be. Something's not good about this, though. Call me fucking crazy. But don't worry, guys. It's fine because all the money that Kim Kardashian made from selling shit on eBay for her charity auctions, don't worry. The proceeds of that were sent to a good cause. Oh, wait. Actually, they were donated to her mom's church, and it is not known which efforts those donations funded. Oh, gosh. That's awesome. Sorry, not all the proceeds, but $21,000 in 2014, $44,000 in 2013, and $20,000 in 2012. So not all the proceeds, but like some of them. Dude, I want to fucking make a church. How do I just make a fucking church? This sounds awesome.
I'm Dustin Stearns from LifeBridge Church in Tacoma, Washington, and online. And let's talk about 5 steps God could help you do to reach new people in your area through starting a mission-oriented church.
Oh, I feel like I'm a better person than these fucking freaks. So, is it all a scheme? What do you guys think down below? Do you think that these people are taking advantage of a system that, once again, you know, they're in the club that we're not a part of? I will say, if it's not a scheme, that the fact that the billionaire Kardashians and Jenners being benefactors of this operation and they continue to operate out of a strip mall with the smallest auditorium humanly possible seems bizarre. seems very bizarre. Plus their give page is very enticing and makes me want to donate. It's like a fucking Apple store. Who's this guy? I love people that look like this. I've never seen anyone who looks like this in person. I will say this is much less evil than them given ones where you pay them money and then they say that they'll pray for you. That's nonsensical. John Oliver did an expose on a church that did that. That was fucking scary.
They preach something called the prosperity gospel, which argues that wealth is a sign of God's favor and donations will result in wealth coming back to you. That idea sometimes takes the form of seed faith, the notion that donations are seeds that you will one day get to harvest.
But they do make it easy for you to pay in any way you want. You can pay in person, you can mail a donation, or you can use their app. You can connect your Apple ID and use Apple Vision Pro. Sink! I just sent money to Kris Jenner's mom's church. I mean, Kim Kardashian's mom's church. I feel good about myself, to be honest, today, especially. I especially like this part of their giving page, which is reminiscent of the pure evil in pay for pray that John Oliver covered.
All of this would be amusing if the targets of these messages were not often vulnerable people like Bonnie Parker. She did not seek medical treatment for cancer, instead choosing to sow money into Kenneth Copeland's church.
When you reach the place where you believe God is wise and believe God is trustworthy, you'll naturally want to give back to Him. When you're ready, we encourage you to start giving faithfully and watch what He does in and through your life. You won't be disappointed. So give Kris Jenner's church money and God will react. That sounds very realistic. Little fun fact in the Our History part of their website, before they were in that little tiny strip mall, they were doing sermons out of the ballroom of the Sheraton Inn in Agora, California. That goes hard as online faith community. Nah, ballroom of the Sheraton Inn. Nah, dude. Fucking strip mall. Very odd. That in combination with the fact that they were already caught in a tax scandal once before, the whole tax lien thing for failure to pay payroll taxes. It looks weird. Now, at least they go there. They go worship the holiness himself there at their little strip mall. Oh, wait, guys. They don't go there. They actually go to the fucking cringe Hillsong, whatever rich people church thing. Fucking Eyes Wide Shut Illuminati church. That's what they go to.
This is the story you haven't heard. As a new generation of victims speak out.
I was 13.
Wow. Damn, this is getting hard to defend. Being non-biased is really exhausting. When Kim and Kanye were together, they would go to his Sunday services, which is way more baller than the California, whatever the fuck, and they had rotating venues there. She also had her children baptized in Armenia, which wasn't even stateside, obviously. And that's like the first Christian nation. So that's like the ultimate dupe area to do that, I think. Wow. I love Assassin's Creed. Kendall and Kylie go to the A-list Hillsong Church in New York City, which is a controversial church as well.
Hillsong is the homegrown Australian mega church that became an international sensation. But now its celebrity founder, Pastor Brian Houston, is mired in scandal, facing criminal charges in Australia and the US.
You can't combine fame and entertainment and money and influence with churches, dude. It doesn't work out. It fucking never works out. Same shit with government. It doesn't work out. What is wrong with you people? Why is this a thing? Unless you just want a lot of money and fame and influence and no tax burden, why are you doing it? What are you doing? It's for the Lord. Well, then explain this thumbnail. All right, the corrupt celebrity pastor. So at the very least, we know Kim and Courtney are giving 10% of their money from a 13-year-old Piers Morgan interview. So maybe they're not anymore, but they're giving 10% of their money. They're fucking billionaires. That's like a lot of money every single year. That is then tax exempt by giving it to their mom's church, and they don't even fucking go there. That seems bizarre. That seems very bizarre. The Lord does work in mysterious ways, though. Maybe it's because it's just too small and their huge badonks don't fit, guys. I would say donate more money and build an actual church with an actual congregation if you really want people to believe what you're doing is a genuine thing. If you're taking money and you're begging for donations and gifts, shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk to you, okay? I don't want to talk to you.
my mom. Just kidding, that was an alarm. Shoo. I don't have a relationship with my mom like Kim and Courtney. All right. My mom doesn't even have a fucking church I can take advantage of. Use your $1 billion and make a better church if you're actually worried about being a good Christian and not being seen as someone who's just taking the absolute most evil route known to man to save on taxes. Come on, y'all got plenty of money, especially if it's 10% tithings. If it's you just have Kim Kardashian giving 10% tithings. Let's see how much money that is. How much money does Kim K make yearly? Between 50 and 80 million dollars. Let's say 50. So $5 million a year. Interesting. And it's been around since 2009, 10. So say it's been around for 10 years. You've made $50 million in 10 years from just Kim and her tithings, according to what Kim said in a Piers Morgan interview. So they at least have $50 million. They had $50 million at some point. Interesting. Now, I know property is expensive in Gourd Hills, California, but it's not that expensive. It's not that expensive. This family, though, is no stranger to shady dealings and being weird ass, you know, just they're different than us. They're not normal. They're crazy. They're evil freaks. It's demonic. Not really, or something. Maybe it is demonic. I'm not sure. One time, though, Kim Kardashian, little fun fact here. Kim Kardashian flew home from Las Vegas with a trash bag full of $250,000 after playing a card game with a disgraced billionaire accused of a $4.5 billion economic development fund money laundering scam in Malaysia.
He's one of the most wanted men on the planet.
A playboy, a con man.
Accused of masterminding the world's biggest heist.
A $4.5 billion fraud.
Stolen from Malaysia's sovereign wealth fund, 1MDB.
Interesting. Dude is quite literally a fugitive. And like, you know, I'm not saying she had anything to do with that, but just having a trash bag full of $250,000, kind of weird, kind of strange. Once again, it's that club that I keep talking about. It's that fucking club, guys. Bizarre. Kim also promoted a crypto scam. Big classic L. Fucking loser. Wow. Emacs. She shilled this shit called Emacs, aka Ethereum Max, to her 225 million followers, saying that her friends told her about it. Her awesome friends, and the SEC charged her for that, which is pretty baller, dude. She didn't get charged for it being a pump and dump or anything like that, which it was, by the way. She was charged for not disclosing that she was paid $250,000 outside of the little ad thing at the bottom of her post. So pretty epic. Yeah, quite a safe thing to invest in, guys. It will eventually go to the moon. It will eventually go to the moon. I believe in Chris. Anything she says is a good investment that her friends told her about. Her friends being the people that also utilize a church as a tax shelter. I will absolutely invest in anything. She settled her SEC charges by paying $1.26 million in penalties, by the way. Wow. Huge W. Are you guys in agreement? No, this is not financial advice, but hearing what my friend told me about the Ethereum Max token. A few minutes ago, Ethereum Max burned 400 trillion token. Literally 50% of their admin wallet, giving back to the entire Emacs community. Dude, shut the f up. All right? Shut the f up. I don't like you. I apologize for the polemic. I get a little rambunctious when talking about fucking irredeemable airheaded freaks. So it seems as though this is one of the most successful grifts, part of the American dream. We love it, guys. Once you hit a certain point, you join a club, and then creating your own religion to save money is a not creating your own religion, your own church. Sorry, religion would be way cooler because that would require world building and lore. All right. That would be a lot more badass. Honestly, they should do that. They should really look into hiring some SAG writers from the Writers Guild, and then just, you know, go down that rabbit hole. Now, will they ever face consequences for this? We don't know. Did they actually do anything wrong? I don't know. They definitely donate money to their mom's church, though, for sure. Maybe nothing bad will ever come out aside from the tax lien drama from a couple years ago. Maybe it's because of how much distance they've created between themselves and the church, or maybe it's God watching them because of how much money they're giving to the church, and that's like a direct representation of how much God loves you, is how much money you give to a church entity, a tax-free
church entity. Now, anyways, how the f they still have a fan base, that's even more of a mystery. That's even more of a rabbit hole. I do not understand why people like think that they allow this. They get a lot of haters for sure, but I mean, this is just mind-boggling. Am I alone in that thought or what, guys?